Hi, this is John, coming to you from my backyard. I asked people who were involved with the Rites of the Hi, this is John from Eleusis, and I asked people who were involved with the Rites of Eleusis for the last 20 years to send us little videos talking about their favorite parts, and I've cut some of them together into a clip here that you're going to get to enjoy. My goal is to make several of these and then ugly cry when you're not watching.
Hi, I'm Liz. I play one of the maenads. And gosh, it's hard to believe that it was like 4 years ago. 2016 was a pretty big year for me creatively. I was ramping up in my belly dance and I entered my first competition. And then also this rock opera audition happened, and so it was very busy but so fulfilling. And I look back at that year, hopefully it's not my peak. Hopefully I can do more, but it was definitely like one of the best years of my life. So about the I already love circus themes, and I don't think I expected it to be so perfect to be a part of. I'm glad that I was available and I was able to do this right. They built a merry-go-round. The art was amazing, and it was my first time meeting everyone, and I kind of realized that this is a family. All these people, they know each other. They've been doing this for years. But they were so welcoming to me, and I just, to this day, years later, we chat online, and I get to kind of keep, I kind of follow them and see what they're doing creatively, which is pretty awesome. So one of the things I loved when I remembered, before the scene where we ate the god, it was pretty exciting. In the backstage, I remember me and Luna, we would always chant. We'd be like, murder, 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 blood, blood, blood. I'm sad that it was kind of it went so fast. You rehearse for something and then it's over. But I'm so glad it's on video so I can relive it. And anyways, that's what I have to say. I love it, and thank you, and enjoy. All right, bye.
I've watched all of the Rites of Eleusis DVDs over the years and hosted watch parties for many of them. I finally got to see one live in 2015. When Elusive Productions staged The Rite of Mars, I had to see a man about a centaur. It was a night I'll never forget. These are not Broadway or West End productions. These labors of love are crowdfunded by a small Seattle community that's every bit as talented as they are passionate and dedicated. What they're able to achieve with a limited budget is extraordinary. The inventive use of costumes, props, and scenery, blocking and choreography demonstrates the power of creativity over budget. I especially enjoyed watching how the Rite of Mars actors used wheeled chain link fences as movable partitions to help tell the story. After all these years, one moment from the Rite of Mars that stands out in my memory is the choreography inspired by the Maori haka. While taking it in a new direction, it preserved the fearsome martial group energy of the original. There was also my wardrobe malfunction, but the less said about that, the better.
Doing the Rite of Venus completely changed my life. I waited until the last minute to try and find out if I could get a ride from Everett all the way down to Seattle to the Science Center. And sure enough, somebody gave me a ride. So I'm like, oh, fine, I have to go. I was a shit, I admit it. And then I got a ride and I got down there and we were waiting for this guy. You're like, there's this guy and I really want him to audition. So we're gonna wait, and he's having some trouble with his dog. And so we're going to wait for him. You come running back. You called him. John, you ran out and you came back and he said, he's on his way. We'll go ahead and get these auditions started. And it was great. And you guys are awesome. And so I was on a high. I was totally on this audition high. And I exited the door and the guy that we were waiting for was right there. And I said something to this strange man I'd never met before that I never would say normally in any other circumstances. But I looked down at him and I said, so is that a bass in your pocket? Are you just happy to see me? I didn't even think about it. So he goes in and auditions and Gadget and I are talking. And then he comes back out and Gadget and I are like, well, hey, not to be rude, but you know, can you give us a ride home? And this guy had this really cool van. It was totally cool. I'd never seen anything like it. A white Volkswagen Eurovan. So Gadget and I climb in, and this guy tells us that he moved here from the East Coast, and you know, he met you guys at an Eleusis event in the hot tub, and he's really excited, and we're like, yeah, it sounds really cool. And so we walk around at the University District at like, you know, what, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and he was training for a marathon, so he couldn't have coffee. But we stumbled across a poetry slam, so we stayed and we watched that, and then we found a bookstore that was open, and I bought the poetry of Rites, some Persian poetry, and a copy of the U.S. Constitution, because I wasn't sure we would have it for a long time. And he bought some science fiction book that he really liked, and Gadget got something. And of course, now it's like 11 o'clock, 11:30, and this bookstore's open. So we drop off Gadget, and we're walking around, and we're at this bar, and it's weird because neither one of us drinks, but somebody had to go to the bathroom, and so we're in this bar, and it's quiet. There's no loud music happening. And I'm reading this passage in this book, the story of Rites. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I have to read this to you. And so he leans in, and I'm reading this passage, and I look up, and he looks over the top of his glasses at me. And I fell madly and head over heels in love with this man. And you guys married us, and we've been together now for 13 years.
I don't think I can actually adequately capture the impact that these rites have had on my life. I was living in a cage of my own devising, and I randomly, through esoteric spiritual friends, happened to see something from, I think it was the Rite of Luna, the song to Artemis. It might have been that. And the moment I saw it, I lost my fucking mind. Lost my fucking mind, because it was brilliant, and it was beautiful, and it was playing in a space that I had dreamed about playing in, bringing the sacred and musical theater and like magical rites performed on stage together. That was something I wanted to do, and now I'm working hard on 2 rock operas, and that's a whole nother thing. So when I couldn't make it out for the Rite of Mars, this kindly soul, he and Bob gave me access to a digital version of the Rite of Mars, and I made them a reaction video of me going, because it was beautiful. And then I actually came out and saw the Rite of Jupiter, followed by the Rite of Saturn, and there is powerful magic in this work. It accelerates growth. It's not fucking pretty. But I really trace a direct line from me discovering John Sewell, Melissa Helm, Sunny, and the rest of the cast of Elusive, discovering this work that they are doing, and me embracing profound change in my life, me having the courage to make profound change in my life. And there really is a direct line from me encountering the rites of Eleusis and these amazing stagings that John Sewell et al. Have been doing of this, and me realizing that I was the captain of my fucking ship, and that I could build my life not just suffer it.
In terms of my favorite memories, I have so many. I can say that the moment that I always loved the most was that 5 minutes before going on stage, particularly opening night. That was the most exciting time. Everyone's in their costumes and they're nervous and they're excited, and there's been all this work leading up to that moment, and it's just sort of running around and looking at people and smiling and nodding like, you know, like we're about to launch this thing. It was such a cool feeling, such a sense of community, such a powerful experience. And I mean, it's neat at the end when people are banging their hands together and yelling, that's cool. But it's before anything happens, like right before you take that first bite of your favorite food. That anticipation was so palpable and amazing. I loved that. And that was true for every performance.